All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Sunday, June 21st. F it. It's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
I'm Pat. Clayton, glad you didn't F up there and say the full F word, especially on this weekend where we are going to have so many kids listening to this episode of the BO Boys. So I want to hear, how did my Toy Story do? Is Pixar back? I hope Pixar's back. I love Pixar. I love Toy Story. What did the BO Boys have to say? So I think keep that in mind this episode. A lot of kids listening, and maybe it's their first time. You know, you might have kids this weekend who choose Toy Story 5 is their first Pixar movie they've seen, and this episode of the BO Boys might be their first ever BO Boys episode.
Welcome, kids.
Welcome. Join us. Join it. Look at, here's the thing that kids are going to love. We are YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
They love YouTube. They love watching, aspiring singers and weirdos singing, Disney princess songs. They love seeing kids play with toys, like other kids play with toys. Their parents force them to make YouTube videos where they play with toys. And they love box office analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here on YouTube for the kids. Welcome. And good news for the kids. We're going to have a very good news plow for these first-time BO Boys listeners. Want to BO children.
Okay. Rats.
The rats, yeah. Well, should we tell them if you've never listened to the show, we refer to you kids as rats?
Yeah. Like Ratatouille.
Yes, exactly. It's meant with love. It's not meant to be insulting. It's not like you're diseased.
No.
You live in the sewers. I guess kids would also live in the sewers because of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So none of this is an insult to the kids. They all love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Clayton, are you ready to give these children a Father's Day weekend plow for box office weekend of June 19th?
Sure. Number 1, Toy Story 5 made $160 million in its first frame. Number 2, Disclosure Day made $17 million, down 62%. It's at $78.2 million after 10 days of release. Number 3, Obsession made $14.2 million, down 25%. It's at $215.8 million in 38 days of release. Number 4, Backrooms made $7.3 million, down 37%. It's at $175.1 million after 24 days of release. And number 5, Scary Movie made $6.7 million, down 53%. It's at $97.5 million after 17 days of release. Let's just go to 6 quickly.
Okay.
Masters of the Universe, $5.5 million, down 37%. It's at $56.9 million after 17 days of release.
I mean, do you think the kids have any interest in going down to Lucky Number 11 and hearing about this Grogu?
Well, I will say let's just do 10.
Okay,
because we do
10.
have some newbies down here at the bottom. So
yes.
Let's do 7. Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu down. 3.9, down 19%. It's at $171.7 million after 31 days of release. Number 8, Leviticus made $2.7 million in only 1,000 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So that is its total cum for its opening. Number 9, The Death of Robin Hood made $2.6 million in its opening. And then number 10, Michael. Kids are very interested in Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's very interested in kids. $2.1 million, down 48%. It's at $367.9 million after 59 days of release. That's your top 10.
So the kids who are listening to us for the first time because of Toy Story, do we advise them go see Michael? Do we advise them to give Michael a chance?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, here, we're going to get to Toy Story 5. So these kids, these rats who are listening, just hold on. Be patient. We're going to get to it. I want to start, though, with something you saw, Boots on the Ground. And number 9, you saw The Death of Robin Hood, Clayton. Now, this is, I could imagine a lot of our audience gasped at that moment to think that you actually saw this movie. A very little seen movie, not, highly publicized, but you got to see this. And are we sleeping on this movie?
No.
Okay.
I saw this for free. I had, I don't know if I'm going to get into the details of it, but it was a past and future guest and guest host who took me to a screening of this.
Okay. So we could say her name. This is not an anonymity situation. Then.
Yeah, well, we I guess you can if you want to. Erin Rose Chan.
Okay.
Erin Rose Foley Chan.
Yep.
We went and saw this. This is a movie for nobody.
Wow. Okay.
This is the gentleman who did Pig and had a big hit with the Quiet Place prequel.
Yep.
And, great filmmaker. This movie looks great. The acting is really good in it.
There's Hugh Jackman.
Absolutely no reason for this movie to exist.
Wow.
Now, we had the pleasure of hearing the director himself talk after this screening of the movie. It made sense to me why he wanted to do this movie.
Okay.
Robin Hood was very important to him as a child. It's something he shared with his father who passed away. So I understand why he made this movie.
Who was his Robin Hood? Was it Carrie Ells? Was it the Mel Brooks?
It was the cartoon Fox.
Oh, okay.
That was his Robin Hood. Genuinely.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
And so he saw that, and this is good for the children listening to this. He saw this cartoon Fox version of Robin Hood, which was Disney?
Disney.
That was Disney. And then his thought was, my life's work is to then kill that thing. Because that is what the death of Robin Hood is. That is Robin Hood, doesn't he get like tortured and killed? And that all came from him seeing the cartoon
Well,
Fox.
it's based on a poem called The
Okay.
Death of Robin Hood.
Okay.
That is, something that it was important to him, which I get. But the problem is, the problem with this movie is that the director's not at every screening and explaining this backstory to the audience. Otherwise, it's just sort of a formless slog that is not commercial in any way, which I don't think that all movies need to necessarily be commercial. But this is just so uncommercial that I wonder why A24. This is what the sort of movie that A24 is only going to be making now and not in the future. I think A24 after some successes
had a movie
they've had,
star though. I mean, I think A24 makes this a movie
because Hugh Jackman is signed on to it.
Yes, yeah. So I think like even though A24 is looking to make bigger, more commercial movies, they're going to make this movie if Hugh Jackman wants to make this movie.
Yeah, although I feel like this sort of movie, after seeing how it's going to do, they're going to have to vet these a little bit better.
Okay.
They really are going to have to be like, hey, do we have a Death of Robin Hood on our hands? That's going to be the first question that they ask this star who wants to do a movie.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, this feels like Death of Robin Hood. Tell us why it's not.
Okay.
So that's going to be the pitch that even this big star, even if like, gosh, like Tom Cruise wanted to do an A24 movie, they'd be like, okay.
Right.
But Tommy, tell us why this isn't Death of Robin Hood.
And then he'd have to explain why Death of the Three Musketeers is not Death of Robin Hood.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I think it's a well-made movie, well-acted movie, but this doesn't surprise me. It actually surprises me it made this much. Because it was only in 1,762 theaters. This movie easily could have made under $1 million.
I mean, that's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie had zero marketing. I really only know about this movie because, hey, we have to know about everything.
Yeah.
And that you were seeing it. Otherwise, A24, I never even saw a trailer for this at any movie I've seen in the last 6 months.
You know what? I hadn't
Backrooms didn't
either.
have a Death of Robin Hood trailer when I went to see Backrooms.
Well, they knew.
A24.
They knew.
They knew.
They knew what they had.
Yeah.
They knew what they didn't have, which was a commercial film.
Yeah, they put nothing into marketing this movie. I wonder if Hugh Jackman's a little peeved. Like, what do you think Hugh Jackman's goal with this movie was? Did he think, I'm going to, this is going to be an Oscar-y type movie. No one's ever seen Robin Hood die. This is Robin Hood like you've never seen him before.
I think there's a possibility he thought that it would be Oscar-y, yeah. I think, he's done some commercial plays recently, stuff that, obviously like he was Wolverine again. He's going to be Wolverine again in Doomsday. The guy's always going to be Wolverine, no
Yeah.
matter what.
They're never
They're going to
gonna
bring a
recast
young
that.
kid in, and he's going to flop as Wolverine, and then this Wolverine's going to kill him and be like, that wasn't the real Wolverine. That was
Right.
like a fake evil Wolverine.
Right.
And so he's going to die Wolverine. They're going to bury him in the Wolverine costume.
But not in the yellow costume. The one that everyone's dying. Just have this guy do a movie in that yellow 90s cartoon costume.
No, he'll be buried in the leather one.
He'll be buried in the leather jacket.
Yeah.
That we saw the origin of that leather jacket in The Wolverine. Right?
No, the Wolverine is the one where he's in Japan.
Okay. The leather jacket, the origin story was in the Wolverine movie where the version leaked like 6 months before the
Wolverine
movie.
Origins.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, that's enough on Death of Robin Hood. It was beaten by a horror movie named Leviticus that also is sort of, it's one of those movies that I think when Obsession came out, the Leviticus people were like, are we next?
Right.
You're not next.
You're not next. Well,
Sorry.
Speaking of Obsession, I went to see this movie for the second time this weekend because I took my wife, who had not seen Obsession. I wouldn't say she'd been resistant to it, but even with all the hype and the fact that and I kept pounding this into her head for weeks and weeks, this is a Sixth Sense type run.
Yes,
This
you have
is bigger
to see this
than
movie.
the Blair Witch run. Do you fucking understand? And listen, kids, I know there's a Toy Story episode, but sometimes you just have to use that word when you're trying to get a point across. So I used it, you could use it. Get it through your head. This is history. You cannot miss history. And I keep saying this over the dinner table, over breakfast, before we go to sleep. First thing when we wake up, she wakes up groggy, turns to me and said, are you seriously not seeing Obsession today?
Mm-hmm.
So finally,
you're holding a flower pot in front of your face.
Yes.
She's like, what are you doing? You're like, you need to see Obsession.
I'm standing in the corner
of
the room, and she sees an empty bed, and she's like, Pat, where are you? And I'm just in the corner.
Yeah.
I say, are you seeing Obsession today?
Yep.
And finally, Saturday was the day we saw Obsession. She loved it.
Yeah, of course she did.
And I got to say, this is what, weekend 5 or 6? Saw this in another packed, full auditorium.
They're always packed.
And the crowd, I don't know how many people in the crowd were seeing this for the first time. I feel like a bunch of them were still seeing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything worked again.
Yeah.
Everything in this movie works. This is such a crowd pleaser.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like you just, when you're in that theater, you fully understand why this is a phenomenon.
And it only dropped 25%. Wow. It, Disclosure Day beat it. But I mean, listen, it's closer than it has any right to be.
I mean, I know Wednesday would be our prediction episode, but next weekend, Obsession finishes ahead of Disclosure Day.
Of course.
Because you figure Obsession drops $1 million or $2 million from where it is now. And Disclosure. I mean, let's talk about Disclosure Day. Made $17 million second weekend. It's up to $78 million. Does this movie hit 100 domestic? Does it get $22 million more? I think
so, because it's so. I think it was everything anybody talked about for a week, and now it's completely gone. And I think people are talking about Woody's bald spot. They're talking about LilyPad. There's no real staying power for this film. Like it's a Spielberg movie, which is great. They did what they needed to do to make it open, bigger than, a lot of his, movies in the past had.
Yeah. Opens bigger than all the, historical dramas and Bridge of Spies type movies.
But it's not a crowd pleaser. It's not a movie that is really significant. You don't have to see it. Mm-hmm. And so I think people will move on to the big summer blockbusters.
Yeah. I think it could get to 100. I mean, that's $22 million. It just made $17 million for this weekend. You can't forget the days. It'll make some Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday money. I think it squeaks over 100.
Yeah, but not much more than that.
Not much more than that. So it's going to be a movie that does okay. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they opened it.
They opened it. And I think getting it over the finish line of 100 million domestic, there's something to that where you could sort of like hold your head up. This isn't a Spielberg's done. He's not Robin Hood. I mean, not to go. Robin Hood's done, right?
No, there's always going to be Robin Hood movies made.
Do you think because this was called The Death of Robin Hood that in the next 5 years we'll get Robin Hood Reborn? Will be a movie
It's probably something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I that feels like an Angel Studios situation.
Oh, that it's Robin Hood going. He's like actually
Born Again.
Born Again.
Yeah.
Robin Hood Born Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That that's not bad. Robin Hood Born Again.
Yeah.
And at that point, his thing is he stopped stealing because he was like, I steal from the rich, gives to the poor.
But that's still a sin.
That's still a sin. Now that I'm born again Christian, no more stealing.
Yeah.
I help the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
That's his thing. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, Disclosure Day is what it is. And I know the kids are talk about Woody, talk about Buzz. We're gonna get there. Just be patient. Backrooms at number 4. I feel like there's a little bit of like sleeping on this movie in the wake of Obsession.
It's crazy that this movie is at 175, has beat Grogu, and no one's talking about it at all.
Yeah, it's not getting its due.
No.
Because Obsession is such a week-to-week, all-time anomaly.
And Obsession is a movie you could talk about for hours.
Yeah.
And I think Backrooms, in a way, was supposed to be that. But I think that the conversation about Obsession is just so much more fun.
Yeah, Obsession's a much more fun movie than Backrooms. But in a time where Obsession didn't exist...
Oh, Backrooms is the story.
Is the story. $175 million for this movie. Yeah, I guess they're always going to be twinned, but Obsession is Barbie and Backrooms is Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk TS5, Toy Story 5. Did you see this movie?
Are you crazy? No.
Am I crazy? This movie made $160 million.
See, here's the thing that I feel like
I
is
don't think
important.
that's a crazy question. Kids, back me up, kids.
Here's the thing that I think is an important distinction. We've talked about this in this episode. Just because a movie makes a bunch of money doesn't necessarily mean that it's a must see, right?
Okay.
When you look at something, but here's the distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Obsession is you are not in the cultural conversation if you have not seen this movie. You literally will go into rooms where people will be like, if you haven't seen Obsession, don't even come into this room.
Yeah.
Because it is something.
Do you think that is like a Upper West Side, like literati dinner party conversation at this point? Obsession, where you've got to talk about what your analyst said this weekend. You do some talk about who's having an affair at this table. This one's having an affair. That one's having an affair. You do some geopolitics. You talk about what are the top 5 books this week. That kind of party. Do you think at this point Obsession has broken through to that party?
God, no, because they're in their 60s and 70s. They're boomers. They don't want to go to the theater anymore. They're not. I wish that was the case, but they don't go see movies.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like even at the New York literati parties, Graydon Carter, like if Graydon Carter is at a party now, he's going to have to talk about Obsession. Right? I mean, that type of party, that type of...
When he's at a dialogue party?
Yeah, I think you've got to...
When he's with Peter Thiel at the dialogue party, they're talking about Obsession?
I think
Him
so.
and
I wasn't
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I was saying, just the sort of classic Manhattan party. I think Obsession has got to be in the conversation there. That is how big it's gotten.
Well, we're getting off the subject.
Okay,
what I was trying to say
TS5,
was that something like TS5 is basically the equivalent of a direct deposit. It doesn't matter as a actual film. It only matters as dollars, right? So when you see something like Pixar now with their sequels, right? Incredibles 3 is going to be coming out. They're going to do an Inside Out 3, I'm sure. These are the equivalent of a direct deposit, which is great because you need direct deposits in order for Obsessions to get made, for Backrooms to get made, for even as pointless as it is, The Death of Robin Hood.
Okay.
So when you look at something like Toy Story 5, I don't need to see it because culturally it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the amount of money that it brings in for theaters to keep theaters alive.
See, I think, and I'm sure these kids in the audience
Super
are
Mario
screaming.
Galaxy is the same thing. Super Mario movies are direct deposits that you just have to see them on the line you're going to see a line that says SMG $1 billion. Mm-hmm. That's a direct deposit. You don't have to worry about it.
Did SMG hit $1 billion?
I don't know if it's $1 billion, baby, but anyway, these movies, once you got past 3 for the Toy Story movies, they were no longer about the legacy
artistry?
of the artistry or the legacy of these characters. It's about keeping an IP alive and keeping the money rolling in.
So right now, you're on the Quentin Tarantino side of this argument because Tarantino has said he will never watch a Toy Story movie after 3. It's the perfect trilogy. The sequels don't exist to him after that. So
they exist. They do exist, and thank God they exist because they keep.
But in terms of like watching it, like you're with Tarantino.
Yes, I don't need,
in all things.
Pat, I've only seen one of the Toy Story movies. I was 15 when the first one came out. I'm too old for any of the Pixar movies. They don't matter to me in any way. So why in the world would I see a 5th movie in a series where I've only seen one of the films?
But this one, I think, and again, the kids listening are agreeing with me, you are shortchanging LilyPad, who I do think is going to be looked at as a seminal character, one of the most important characters of this film year. This is LilyPad, voiced by Greta Lee. So this is kind of her first successful cash-in after Past Lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she had Past Lives, got this close to the Oscar nom. Probably should have got that 5th slot in Best Actress. And since then, she did the Tron movie that stunk and bombed and a few other things. But now she's LilyPad.
Okay.
And you are just out here hand-waving LilyPad. Oh, it's just a cash-in. LilyPad doesn't matter. This character of LilyPad, giving voice to an iPad.
I don't
doesn't
think...
matter.
I think it's okay for movies not to be for me. Mm-hmm. And not having to sit through movies I'm not interested in just because they made a lot of money. It's good that it made a lot of money. I'm happy that there are these consistent franchises. Spider-Man, same thing. I don't need to see this new Spider-Man movie. It's going to be the biggest movie of probably the year, most likely. But I don't need to see it.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be something that can be dissected and talked about in the way that something like Obsession can be.
Okay.
And if you are dissecting this Spider-Man movie, then you don't run in the circles that I run in.
Right. But you are on a movie show, so that's part of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the only thing that's important to me about Spider-Man is that it makes it so that other movies can be made that aren't Spider-Man.
Okay. So then just Toy Story, no comment. Is your
well, no, I'm not going to see it.
Okay. And LilyPad, no interest.
No, although I don't want you to give spoilers because I hate when you give spoilers. But we had an argument about LilyPad on this show. And you...
Well, you're going to ask a question, and you can't give me shit for then answering the question that you're about to ask.
Well, that's
I know
the
what
thing.
you're about to ask.
But that's the thing is that I don't think I can ask this question because...
You got to ask it now.
Was I right?
Were you right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a Fast and Furious.
I knew it was.
It was a Fast and Furious with LilyPad.
Which I don't think
She's in the gang. She's in the gang now.
Which I don't think is a spoiler necessarily because you knew that's what was going to happen.
Yes, of course they weren't going to burn her alive like the Wicker Man. It would have been an interesting way to go.
Mm-hmm.
They went the Fast and Furious. She's going to be next Toy Story 6. She's in the gang. And
now here's the question: were there commercials for Apple TV Plus
There were no
I'm sorry, it would be Disney Plus.
Yeah, there were no
plus Hulu and ESPN.
No, there were no ads for the bundle on LilyPad.
She wasn't watching A. Smith. What's his face?
Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith screaming about something.
She wasn't watching First Take.
First Takes.
No. Okay, so the LilyPad in this movie.
Was she following the Mike Vrabel affair story on
Oh wait,
LilyPad?
He's having an affair? LilyPad didn't actually show any content or any programming on the LilyPad. The kid was using it for gaming and social media.
Okay.
But there weren't any sort of like fake versions of Disney or Hulu shows on there. They didn't have like FX on Hulu on LilyPad.
Okay.
Where she's watching the miniseries about JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
Okay. Love story.
Yeah. It would have been... That is a missed opportunity. They should have animated the crash, and you just see the kid. You don't even have to say what it is, but like we'll know. Oh, she's watching American Love Story, JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
Yeah.
On LilyPad. Yeah, they didn't do that though.
That's everybody's a buzz about it. They want us to be a buzz,
and we are a buzz.
We are a buzz.
So that's the thing. We're all talking about this LilyPad, and you're not gonna know, but. She didn't get full villain burned alive at the end. She is part of the gang.
There we go.
So, do you think LilyPad, because this is a nice increase, Toy Story 5 over the opening weekend of Toy Story 4? Because Toy Story 4 did what, like 130 in the opening weekend?
Interesting. You would think that they would have put it out on the same weekend. But they didn't.
Do you feel vindicated? I mean,
I do feel vindicated.
This is a sort of pre-existence of the B.O. Boys show lore about you. You were furious in 2019. Toy Story 4 opened on a non-Father's Day weekend.
They wanted those fake China bucks.
They wanted international openings to line up with the domestic, so they didn't open on Father's Day weekend. They did it here. So do you give all the credit to Father's Day weekend? As opposed to, I think what this movie shows is LilyPad was a much stronger value add than Forky.
I think that
Forky was kind of a disaster.
God, opening weekend for Toy Story 4, it was 120.
Was 120. So this is a $40 million domestic increase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't, 2019 was about as good of a time for the box office as we've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the biggest years of all time.
And it had, it even had a Star Wars movie that underperformed, but it still did Bafa Bobo. That was the
Rise of Skywalker in December.
Skywalker, yeah.
So this movie, Toy Story 5, Forky's in it, gets maybe 2 lines. I think this is a clear condemnation of Forky as a character, as an IP, as a box office draw.
Yeah, well, Plastic Fork with googly eyes probably can't really compete with an iPad.
Yeah. And Tony Hale as a voice, you're not really competing with Greta Lee.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, you got to remember, that was Tony Hale in his prime.
Yeah.
Because he was doing Veep.
Hot off of Veep, off of the reboots of
Arrested Development,
the Netflix seasons that everyone loved.
So that was as hot as he'd ever going to be.
Yeah.
And he still couldn't be a big enough value add.
Yeah. You know what he's probably saying, though? Listen to us say, he only had a couple of lines in this movie. He's like, check cash just the same.
Oh, yeah.
Although he must have made more for Toy Story 4 than 5.
He got paid per syllable, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And who else of the voices? Very little John Ratzenberger. Actually, I don't know if John Ratzenberger, he plays the pig, right? He plays the piggy bank. I don't know if he had any lines in this. And Don Rickles as Mr. Potato Head didn't have any lines.
He got recast, right?
Maybe did. I don't know if he or Mrs. Potato Head had any lines. Obviously, both the actors have passed, but they've got every consonant and vowel sound they've ever made on in their tape library. So they could have like given another Don Rickles full performance.
I think the thing with the people who have passed is that all of the actors in the movie that have passed or that were Toy Story voices were already old as shit in the first movie.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so the fact that all the voices are still around other than the very, very old people like Doris Roberts and Don Rickles is good.
Wait,
even
Doris
though
Roberts or was it?
Doris Roberts was,
okay.
was
I thought
the
it
voice.
was George's mom from Seinfeld, Estelle Harris. I think she was Mrs. Potato Head.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Yes. Again, you have to watch these films.
Yeah, but anyway, they're dead. Mm-hmm. But the first one came out in 1995. Mm-hmm. So, of course, the old people are going to be dead.
Yeah.
The only ones that matter are Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah.
And Joan Cusack.
Joan Cusack, who is the star of this movie. So now I have seen this.
Yes.
I saw this film.
And you went with children, as you should.
I went with the nieces, took them to, because now that we've seen it, I can reveal where we saw it. Went to the AMC Lincoln. They saw their first ever IMAX film.
I think yes. I mean, I think that is a great service that you did.
Yep.
And
the middle niece, during the movie, there's all these action scenes, chase she'd never seen anything like this. Had never been to an IMAX. And at one point she goes, I feel like I'm moving. And she was excited. She was glad. She wasn't like, I feel like I'm moving, I'm scared,
and then
get
puked.
me out of here, and puke. No, she was into it. It's so great to see the power of IMAX through their eyes.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And they loved it. It was a great experience. They were into LilyPad. But, afterwards, we talked about the movie and the storyline and all of them. Were like, yeah, I wouldn't want to play with LilyPad. That seems like it would be. They understood all the problems that LilyPad posed.
Okay.
In the film, but they didn't want to kill LilyPad. They just wanted her to like be around, but don't really use her.
Know your place.
Know your place.
Yeah.
It was a huge hit with the kids. They were into it. Here's something I'll say, having seen this movie. Tom Hanks as Woody and Tim Allen as Buzz, they're really sidelined in this. And I kind of feel like the Toy Story movies are leaving the opening. I don't know if it's a negotiating ploy or what, where we could do these movies without them someday.
Interesting. So
they're in it a lot,
okay.
But like Woody is not necessary to this plot at all.
Yeah.
He's in there for sure. But I do think they're planting the seeds for, not that Tim Allen and Tom Hanks are all, they'll be around for a long time, but maybe it is hey, do we need to give Tom Hanks $40 million for the next Toy Story movie?
I think that's the thing, and I think that is, and I think we've known since 4. Once 4 was made, like, for the longest time, they were saying, Hanks and Allen were like, this 3 was it. End of the story.
Yeah.
Gave these characters an end. Once Pixar started being in trouble, creatively, they realized that their way of surviving was to do these sequels, right? They started sequelizing everything. And once 4 was made, the door was then open for a bunch of other ones. And especially with this one, which I've heard is like the first Toy Story movie where they weren't like, this is the last one, right?
Yes.
It's not being promoted as in your last chance to see Buzz and Woody.
Yes.
It's my take with this now is that you're right in that I think they want Tim Allen and Tom Hanks involved as much as they can be, but money-wise and age-wise, even though they do have every single syllable of their voices, they could 100% make these movies in like 100 years with their voices.
Yeah. I'm sure Hanks and Tim Allen have lawyers that maybe John Ratzenberger
doesn't have.
And Don Rickles doesn't have. Like, I don't think...
Well, Rickles has a mob lawyer.
Yeah, but he's also old. I think he died
And nearly
a long time
dead.
ago.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
right.
Don Rickles' lawyer
And
has
the
been dead
and the
for like
mob
20 years.
the mob lawyer's son just isn't the same.
He's not as good.
No.
I agree. I think that they're clearly not setting up again that Woody and Buzz won't be there. Because like Toy Story 4 ends with Woody going to live in the streets.
Yeah.
And
To be a gutter punk.
Be a gutter punk. And then now he's back. They make 5 and suddenly Woody's like, hey, I'm still here. You know, I'm going to come in through the window. So that could have been a cutoff point where they really said, we're going to, you know, rip the Band-Aid off. No Woody in this movie. Let's see if we could do it. And they clearly weren't there yet.
No. And I think that this, now that 5 exists, there will be 8 of these movies.
Yes.
Like there will be as many as until they reach a point where nobody wants to see these anymore.
Yes, which is clearly not anytime soon.
Yeah, and I think with everything there is a line, like, you know, the thing is when you look at Fast and Furious, where 5 became this turning point where it became super successful, and then you had 6 that kept the momentum, 7, which with real life things happening made it the biggest one ever, 8, then 9,
let
you know,
down,
and then
10 disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that will happen to Toy Story because there is only so much of something that people want, especially because now they're going to have to make them every 3 years. There's not going to be the big wait. They're going to need to make these, if they want to get to 8, 9, 10 Toy Story movies, they're going to be churning them out.
Yeah. Well, so the 4 was 2019, so this is a 7-year gap.
They need time to make them.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to be Fast and Furious pace, but I could see it getting to a every 5 years is a Toy Story movie.
Yeah.
Like you could, at our age right now, start to do the math, give yourself an average lifespan, and start to figure how many Toy Story movies do I have left?
Absolutely, yes.
Right? Because if it's every 5 years and you're in your mid-40s and you're going by, let's say, 75, you're like, all right, maybe I've got 6 more Toy Story movies left in me.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's not a guarantee. You're probably not seeing 8 or 9 more Toy Story movies. That ain't happening.
No.
But you might
they'll
get to
be
6.
made, but we won't see them.
We won't see them, yeah. So I think that LilyPad is bringing her into the gang. It always had to happen because you need to start to have, could that be in that core group of, all right, Woody and Buzz, or they're just like kind of in the background of Toy Story 6, you know, they're playing golf or something. They're on a golf weekend when the adventure happens. And now LilyPad is your main toy.
Well, yeah, because the people making these movies, they're going to at some point have to tell the story that is happening, which is technology overtaking our lives.
Yes.
And so LilyPad is going to be the only toy that kids have. And it's going to have government messages on it and all that stuff. And so Pixar will make that movie to get kids to submit.
Yes. I mean, LilyPad is definitely easing kids into a lifetime of having
tech slavery.
Yeah. And you know what? You got Greta Lee voicing it. She's so fun. The LilyPad is green. It's got like this like frog eye design. It's like, all right, I get it. It's cute. And if you're going to be a tech slave, it's a good entry point.
So the thing about this Toy Story 5 is that it feels like it succeeded in a way that Mando and Grogu didn't. That, well, just in general, like Toy Story movies were sort of like Star Wars movies in the sense that every one of them felt consequential. They felt like part of an arc of like this story.
Okay.
And important. Like you had to see them because they were important because these characters went on arcs and they were, you know, they were like icons that kids grew up with.
Right.
And this movie, 4 to an extent, but 5 is just an adventure.
Yes.
And it's succeeded so far. I don't see any reason why this would drop off a cliff because anybody I've talked to says it's fun and enjoyable. But Mando and Grogu tried to sell you on a Star Wars movie that was completely inconsequential.
Right.
It's just a adventure.
Right.
And Star Wars fans don't want that. They want everything to be consequential. Where here, like we were saying, they're going to make 8, 9, 10 of these, and they're just going to be adventures.
Yes.
It's going to be not like, oh, this is definitely the last one. There won't be a last one.
Yeah.
There won't be a say goodbye to your friends. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Where I think Star Wars always had to have that, like, this is important.
Right. Right.
And
right.
since Mando and Grogu was not important in any way, shape, or form, it failed.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could at some point do... Well, do we want to at all mention Lightyear? Does Toy Story 5 make Lightyear? We just completely forget that happened. Because it wasn't really in the Toy Story universe canon.
No.
So that doesn't blemish the Toy Story franchise at all.
If
Is
anything,
it the solo? Like, if you're saying Toy Story succeeding where Star Wars failed, is Lightyear the solo?
Yeah, and they actually were able to recover from a solo where Star Wars hasn't.
Right.
It's very much solo because it was a different character playing a famous character that only should be played by the one person.
Yes.
Like Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear.
He's Buzz Lightyear, yeah.
So, yeah, it's absolutely the solo.
Yeah.
And they were able to recover from the solo. So Pixar is doing so much better than Star Wars.
Oh, my God, 100%. Yeah, it does help that in a cartoon, the characters don't age.
Mm-hmm.
The big problem is you can't just keep making Luke Skywalker movies because Mark Hamill's 100 years old.
Yeah.
And you could keep making... The piggy bank is going to live forever, whether or not John Ratzenberger lives forever, which we probably won't. But you could keep making these characters look the way that they always looked, and you just keep... But what worked is people care about LilyPad, the new character, in a way that they do not give a shit about any of the new Star Wars characters. They don't care about... Grogu is not LilyPad. And I don't care Grogu, young... What was it? Young Yoda? Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda.
Had that moment on TV a couple of years ago, but compared to LilyPad,
but
does
so did
not
the
matter.
Budweiser Frogs,
Yes.
and so did the What's Up guys,
Right?
And they never were able to turn that or translate that into movie stardom,
Right.
So why would you expect Baby Yoda to do any better than the Budweiser Frogs or the Bud Light Penguin?
Should
Doobie Doobie Doo, right? That was
Doobie Doo Doo, yeah.
Was that Bud Light? What was that?
Yeah,
Or
that was Bud Light.
Okay.
Should, at this point...
I feel like it was ice, something ice, Bud Ice?
Should,
Penguin.
at this point, Star Wars just transition to becoming toys in the Toy Story universe?
Oh,
Should
Baby Yoda. Yeah, we talked about this. I think we brushed upon this, that like Baby Yoda wouldn't be in the Toy Story movies because they'd be afraid.
Well, I mean, just bring Luke Skywalker into Toy Story as a Luke Skywalker action figure.
Oh, like they did with Ken.
Yes, Ken and Barbie were in Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
I think that might... And look what happened to Ken and Barbie then. They got that bump from being in Toy Story 3. Everyone, yes, Ryan Gosling was incredible as Ken. He got the Oscar nom, but... Let's not forget, Michael Keaton.
He paved the way. That was
paved the way. He brought Ken back. Like, does Gosling get that Oscar nomination if people don't get the Ken in Toy Story 3 that they all loved?
And Ken in Toy Story 3 sort of was the template.
Yep.
For the Ryan Gosling. He was a lovable goof.
Yes. And I think if Gosling won, which... In retrospect, he should have won Best Supporting Actor that year over Downey for Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
If Gosling had won that Oscar, I think he's the type of guy that would have said, thank you, Michael Keaton, paving the way with this character in Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
I built on your work.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gosling would have said it. But,
I stand on the shoulder of giants.
Yes.
Is what he would have said.
Yes. But I think if you're Star Wars now, the best you could do is hitch your wagon to Toy Story and just get a Darth Vader toy, Luke Skywalker, just the original classic characters. No fucking Bubba the Hutt or Mandalorian or any of these characters that people don't care about. Just the original Star Wars action figures in the Toy Story universe. That could be Toy Story 6 could be Buzz and Woody and Jesse and LilyPad get mixed up in a space adventure with the Star Wars toys.
Or they get locked into a nerd's collectible.
Oh, yep.
Like room.
They
free all the packaged characters because these are like in the package from the 80s and 70s Star Wars toys that are suffocating in the plastic, and they're like, this is terrible, and they open up all these, and then you have them all interact, and then the nerd comes running and is like, my precious collection,
and he tries to kill all the other toys.
He tries to kill Woody, he tries to kill Buzz. And usually in these Toy Story movies, the toys all freeze, they drop down as soon as a human is around. No, they maul this guy.
Well, because they make him think that it is a Mountain Dew Code Red style hallucination, which he has all the time. He's always hallucinating from all the Mountain Dew that he drinks. So Woody is just like, no, we're not real. You're on another Mountain Dew Code Red hallucination, you fat idiot. And that's what Woody says. But it's Tom Hanks, so it's
so
fun.
It comes off like
it's sweet,
pleasant.
Yeah. But he does call him a fat idiot.
Yeah.
I love that for Toy Story 6. And then you could have the Darth Vader toy who he resents humans for keeping him in that package the whole time. So he tries to kill a kid or something. And they've got to stop Darth Vader as a toy from going to kill a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're still workshopping it. But I do think that's a way to get people to care about Star Wars again.
Yep.
And then, you just...
Yeah, and then people are like, okay, I guess these characters are cool.
But the problem is that the only characters anybody cares about truly in Star Wars, like the general populace, are those.
Yeah.
So to do a live action where Princess Leia is dead.
Yeah.
I mean...
listen, this is separate, but I think it's, at this point, recast Star Wars and remake the original Star Wars. I think
the problem is that, again, nobody wants a Luke that's not him. Nobody wants a Leia that's not her. Nobody we know wants a Solo that's not Harrison Ford. So that's the problem.
But
I think
at
the end of the day...
prequels... I do think if you just went full, we are remaking the original Star Wars movies, that could work. Or
should do a Gus Van Sant Psycho. Just do
a shot-for-shot remake of New Hope and Empire and Jedi. Yeah. But I think reintroducing them as toys in Toy Story 6 makes so much sense for Disney.
Yeah.
Because it is like... Toy Story is just minting stars now. LilyPad's a star. Didn't work for Forky. No. They can't turn shit into gold.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Forky, to get to $120 million opening weekend with a fork with googly eyes voiced by Tony Hale, that kind of shows the power of Toy Story.
Well, when that was looked at as the added value. Yeah. The value add. Yeah. And I mean... But what we can take from Toy Story 5 is that it's a reliable franchise that will mint money, get kids and adults into the theaters, and these are good things to have as tentpoles. They're truly, again, tentpole is a term that people use and no one ever thinks about what it actually means. These are the movies that steadily hold up the tent so that Backrooms and Obsession can come in and they can have shelter and be welcomed into theaters. And the good thing is now Pixar knows what they are. They're a sequel-making machine. That's what they are. And they have some, they had Hoppers, which was okay.
Hoppers was a hit.
Hoppers gets to come into the tent.
Yeah.
The new one that they have coming out fairly soon
Gatto.
Yeah,
Gatto.
Gatto gets to be under the tent, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But we no longer need to have the expectation that like Gatto is going to be Wall-E or
Yes.
Ratatouille
Yes.
or any of the other acclaimed ones. They're just not going to be because we've seen it all before. Pixar's doesn't have any new moves. They're not going to do anything that is going to blow people's minds the way Pixar did when it was new, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder if we will ever see a non-sequel Pixar movie hit that level of Pixar money. Like, will we get, a Hoppers or a Gatto type movie that gets to $700 or $800 million worldwide? Because Hoppers got to like probably 450-ish worldwide.
I don't even know
maybe
if it's
400.
that high.
It probably got to like 170 or so domestic, and so Hoppers might have been in the 300s then worldwide. But will Pixar ever have one of their franchises that gets to franchise money? Eventually they will, right? I mean,
maybe if they still exist. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, how are we talking? If Pixar exists for another
the next, 5 years, like
not in the next 5 years. No.
I mean, we'll see. All it takes is one of them. Like, listen, we have no idea what Gatto is. Maybe
Gatto ain't gonna do it, buddy.
Maybe it's the next Ratatouille. You don't know.
Hoppers ain't gonna. I mean, Gatto ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, these.
Worldwide, I think you were really close. What did you say worldwide box office?
Did Hoppers get over 400?
No, but it was 388.
388. Okay.
But I think you said something pretty close to that.
Yeah. So Pixar's in a good spot. They're definitely in a much better spot than they were, 4 years ago when it's like coming off all the COVID straight to home release movies, and then you're coming back with Lightyear. And did they have another movie that kind of bombed before Elemental? Because like Elemental sort of put them on more of a right track in that it had such a leggy run.
I think Elemental was the one after Lightyear.
Yeah. So
because then it was Elia, which was
Elia was a rough
spoken
situation.
of, the better.
Yeah. Pixar is in a good spot where they know, let's make sure every other year we've got one of our franchise sequels. And then in between, solid, Elemental, Hoppers level, just hit movie. Just a
Pixar,
double, a double to a triple.
Pixar is in a better spot than both Star Wars and Marvel.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Because Spider-Man ain't Marvel. It's Sony.
Yeah. Well, after this opening weekend, do we think Toy Story 5 will be the biggest movie of the summer? Because the competition was sort of Toy Story 5, Odyssey, if you're really high on Odyssey, Spider-Man.
No, Toy Story 5 is not going to be bigger than Spider-Man.
I mean, I think you're sort of forgetting the legs that these Pixar movies could have. Because Inside Out 2 opened lower than this and did a 4 multiplier.
But Pat, Spider-Man already has the biggest presale in 5 years. Mm-hmm. The only thing that had bigger presales was Spider-Man, No Way Home. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man is going to be the biggest movie of the summer.
Okay.
No doubt.
I could see that, obviously, yeah.
But,
it makes sense.
I mean, Toy Story 5 being right behind it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I just think Spider-Man, with the love for Zendaya right now, Tom Holland, there is a built-up want for something superhero that is good, or at least, decent.
Right.
And, all they have this summer for superheroes is Supergirl.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the next episode.
And so I feel like, I think Spider-Man is, and kids love Spider-Man.
Kids love Spider-Man.
The little kids have that Spider-Man and Amazing Friends. Anonymity is important, but
I was going to say the middle and youngest niece, the 6-year-old and the 3-year-old.
Oh, that's
love Spider-Man.
Specific.
Love Spider-Man. And they specifically have told me they love the Spidey and Friends cartoon.
Yeah, so
that is the gateway.
Kids are going to be going with their parents and guardians to this Spider-Man movie when they're 4 or 6. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be so huge.
Yeah. The middle one has already asked me, can we see the Spider-Man movie? Now, she hasn't seen any live-action Spider-Man movies at home.
Yeah.
So I think I might show her the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie and see if that holds her interest. Because if she gets through that at home and she likes it, I'll take her to see the Spider-Man movie.
I'm wondering if that would hold my attention at this
Well,
point.
you like the first one that had Keaton. That's the one, Michael Keaton.
That's the one with Keaton as Vulture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's good. That's good. It does, though, have... I do think that she'll be like, why is that guy with the goatee so snarky?
Wait, which guy is that?
Iron Man.
Oh, right.
He's in
Iron
that.
Man's in that first one. Yeah, she might bump with Downey as Iron Man. Yeah.
He seems like somebody who used to be addicted to drugs.
Yeah, she would pick up on that.
Yeah.
Though I think Iron Man's in the Spidey and Friends cartoon.
Possibly.
So
I don't know.
that.
I've never seen a second of it.
But yeah, so just report on the trailers, having seen it with the nieces. They want
to see the Odyssey. They've read the book.
Yeah, they're not into the Odyssey yet. The trailers were for Gato, which they were like fine on. I gotta say that didn't blow the doors off. Ice Age, they were like yes, Ice Age.
I didn't even know there's a new Ice Age.
Yeah, it's called Ice Age, like Burning Hot or something. It's the last one was called Extinction, and they're still there.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like these last few movies must be like one day at a time movies that all take place right as they're going extinct.
Well, it could be a sort of Saw situation where these movies are overlapping each other.
Oh, all the Ice Age movies take place over like 3 days in a warehouse.
Yeah.
It's called maybe Boiling Points.
Wow.
It's basically about them. It's about the volcanoes all exploding and them being burned alive.
Wow.
But they
have Leguizamo back?
Leguizamo's back, yeah. He does a performance of Super Freak in the middle of the movie.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
then what was the name of his other one?
You know what? That'll be for the Patreon.
Okay.
So
you don't want to say it?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Boiling Point.
2027.
They've got Ray Romano back. They got Leary.
They got
Leguizamo. Queen Latifah.
Great.
And Simon Pegg.
Great.
Man, Simon Pegg up there with some... These are all legacy stars. And Simon Pegg's right up there.
He's got multiple franchises.
Good for that guy.
So they were into that. Gato, they didn't really care too much, but they were, of course, let's go see it. Moana the baby was super into seeing Moana. And then...
That's another one. Moana's just like such a direct deposit.
And then Supergirl. They showed the trailer for Supergirl. So the oldest, the 9-year-old...
is a Blondie fan.
She was into that they used Call Me, which I know Chris Klemmer on his shows, he has just ranted on and on. What are you using? This Blondie song? It's
cool kids like
song.
Blondie.
She was into that. The middle one, she turned to me and she asked, who's the villain in this? And I said, I don't know who the villain in this. I actually don't know who the villain in the Supergirl. Because she asked, is it the Joker? She's never seen any of these, but she knows the Joker.
She knows what it should be, which is just have the Joker in this movie.
Fucking Joker.
Space Joker. Have him in space.
Yes. Have him in space.
Joker can go to space.
How do I get these space scars?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know. And her interest in Supergirl immediately just went downhill.
She needs a great villain.
She needs a great villain.
That is true.
And the baby didn't care about Supergirl.
That is very true in that you could have said with Superman, oh, it's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And the interest could have been whatever it was, but at least there's a villain named. Batman, obviously. It's going to be the Joker.
All these kids know the Joker. They don't know how they know the Joker, but they all know the Joker.
And then Supergirl, well, what is the villain? Well, the villain is trauma.
Yeah, the villain, yeah.
And it's like...
who is trauma?
Okay,
well, it's not a who. It's more
a
of a
thing.
Yeah.
And millennials are never going to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Good thing you're Gen Alpha, where they'll be so far past that.
Yeah. She did not care. So those were and I feel like there was maybe one other kids trailer that played really well, but those are the big ones. I do actually want to give a big shout out from this Boots on the Ground report to one of the great heroes in all of movies,
Jeffrey.
So,
did they meet Jeffrey?
Did they meet Jeffrey? So we saw the movie in IMAX. So if you know the theater, usually Jeffrey's on the second floor. He's not on IMAX floor. So when we saw the movie, we didn't meet Jeffrey.
Okay.
And went to the movie, loved it, left the AMC Lincoln, went to the park. We're in the park for hours. And then after we leave the park, we eat, and then we're heading back, and we're walking, and didn't do enough bathroom visits when we ate. So we're away from there, and we're leaving. Everyone needs to go to the bathroom.
Of course.
And it's like, all right, we could go back to where we ate, but that's a little further. And then I said, you know what? You know we're right near again? Right there is the AMC. And let's go in there and use the bathroom. Now, of course, listeners, you're saying, but there's not a public bathroom right when you walk in. You have to get past where they scan the tickets to use the bathroom.
Yes.
And I said, don't worry about it.
Not going to be a
I'm
problem.
an A-lister. And actually, I hadn't seen Jeffrey yet. So in my mind, I'm like, the A-list I should be able to talk my way in just by showing my A-list barcode.
Of course.
But maybe not. And I go in there, and we go to the second floor, and right there is Jeffrey. And I got the kids. I got the three nieces. And right away, Jeffrey, my man.
Yeah.
And we're talking. And I got these kids. I'm their guardian right now.
Yeah.
They all have to go to the bathroom. But, we saw the movie before. I didn't even have to, of course, come on in. Right this way. And then he's asked, did you love Toy Story? Everyone's, we love Toy Story, Jeffrey. And then off they went. No one pooped themselves. No one is just got to use a bathroom. The beautiful AMC Lincoln bathrooms.
Best in the city.
Best in the city. The only true, they have the only true IMAX, and they have the only true bathroom.
Yes.
If you go to a bathroom at a
there
different
are holes
AMC,
in the ground.
Yeah. AMC Lincoln is a true bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Jeffrey. He's not going to let a kid just
poop themselves. Yeah.
And especially not when they're with me.
Yes. Well, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great man.
What a mensch.
And now here's the thing. I don't want now people listen to this and they start to say, oh, I could just go use the bathroom at the AMC Lincoln whenever I want, not having bought a ticket.
No.
Don't confuse Jeffrey's kindness for weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Because
he'll bounce you out.
He'll bounce you out, which is what he should do. And I'm sure he'll do it, giving you a recommendation for a movie. Hey, and when you get a chance, go see Leviticus or, whatever he's Death of Robin Hood. It's Hugh Jackman's best performance in years.
Yeah.
But he will bounce you if you haven't bought a ticket and you're not with children who are going to soil
and you're
themselves.
not an A-list.
And you're not an A-lister.
An A-lister for AMC and also an A-list podcast.
Yeah. But he stepped up and saved the day.
Oh, my gosh.
So thank you, Jeffrey.
He's the thing with Jeffrey, too, is that it's like now generations are like being impacted by his generosity.
Yes.
And his like charm.
Yes.
Like that's going to be such a big memory for them. I mean, the memory of IMAX, seeing it with you. LilyPad.
But Jeffrey's up there with LilyPad. When they think of that day, it's like we got to meet LilyPad and we got to meet Jeffrey.
Yes.
And we didn't have to deal with that much of Forky.
Yeah. It's a great day. One of the great days.
One of the great days. Yeah. Yeah, so AMC Lincoln really came through in every way.
It always
IMAX,
does.
On the bathrooms, the treats. We were getting popcorns. We got the AMC signature chocolate-covered pretzels were a big hit. So
did you get the Buzz bucket?
We didn't get the Buzz buckets, no.
Because those make noise.
They got enough stuff that makes noise.
Okay.
I don't think they needed any.
You don't want to buy them 3 buckets that make noise and then just drop them off at your sister's?
No, I think
here they are. They're wired and now have buckets that make noise.
Yeah.
Bye.
I think just giving them the paper buckets was enough.
Okay.
So huge day there, and yeah, I think that's all the coverage.
Toy Story 5 did what it needed to do, plus more.
Yep.
And it's going to be a steady earner throughout the summer.
Last thing, do you think there's a chance of an Inside Out 2 level run? Because again, it opened bigger than Inside Out 2. The legs on Inside Out 2 were incredible. Got to 1.8? Did it get to 2 billion worldwide? But Inside Out 2 was the biggest movie of the year it came out 2 years ago.
I don't think we're going to see with a 5 that happening. I do
2
think
was special. Yeah, 2 was the Toy Story 3 of the Inside Out.
Yeah, because I think people didn't realize that they could make another one of these, and people were hungry for a Pixar movie the way they remember Pixar movies being.
Yeah.
So Inside Out 2 did a lot. But you know what? Zootopia also went crazy.
Yes.
So I think the 5 does make it less special than a 2.
Yeah.
So it's probably not going to make that much money. It's not going to make the most out of those.
Yeah.
But who knows? It is going to be one of the things that kids are going to want to see and that you can take your kids to, even though it was PG.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's going to just earn throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So will it be like Zootopia 2 level? Probably not.
Oh, it just came to me, of course, the other trailer that they showed, and this was the biggest hit of all of them, Minions and Monsters. They were losing their minds for that trailer.
Yeah.
Just that movie is by far their most anticipated movie of the year.
Okay.
They, all three of them, the baby to the middle schooler, they were all locked in for Minions and Monsters. It's hard to predict that movie is going to be bigger than any of the other Minions movies.
Yeah.
But it is not going to lose a step.
Yes.
That audience was locked and loaded for a new Minions movie.
Great. We need these.
It'll
things.
make it 700 to 800 million worldwide. Easy.
So worldwide box office for Inside Out 2, 1.6.
Wow.
So will it reach that?
Will it have a 5 times multiplier worldwide?
And then Zootopia 2, 1.8. So I don't think Toy Story 5 is going to do it.
No, probably not. But
if it makes $1 billion, which I think it's definitely going to make $1 billion.
It's definitely going to make $1 billion.
That's great.
Yeah. I think it's a slam doink this makes $1 billion.
Good.
So before we go, just want to give, I think we both want to say condolences for a huge passing.
Oh, yes.
This weekend. Now, this was not a movie director.
No.
So it shows the level of accomplishment that this person had, that they spent their entire life on TV, and the B.O. Boys are taking a minute to acknowledge James Burrows.
Jimmy Burrows, yes.
Jimmy Burrows passed away, famed TV director, co-creator of Cheers, directed tons of episodes of Taxi and Cheers and Wings and Frasier, and then into the 2000s, he's doing Will and Grace and
pretty much any sitcom pilot for a show that went anywhere.
Yeah.
James Burrows directed.
Yeah. And then a lot that didn't. He directed, I'm sure, the Jesse pilot and the Union Square pilot.
The Class.
Yep.
He did The Class for CBS. I think that, really defined the form. Mm-hmm. A form that is now nearly extinct.
Yeah.
And it sort of is passing with him, the 4-camera sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a single one of those sitcoms that is on air right now? Does CBS have anything?
Well, I think there's
their big show was that Ghosts show.
I think Tim Allen has his ABC show Shifting Gears, but I don't even know if that's 4-camera.
Yeah, there's so few people that you could say were the best to ever do the thing that they did. and have it be a thing that mattered.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're like, I'm the best who's ever like balanced nickels on my nose. Okay.
Bully for you.
Bully for you. But James Burrows is the best director of TV sitcoms ever.
Mm-hmm.
And because the form is kind of ended,
Will always be the best.
will always be the best.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. Obviously he was a older man, and
85.
he was very. Which actually,
It's not that old.
It's
I
really
hope it's not that old.
It's
I want
really
to say
not.
it's not. As you get older, I want to say 85 should not be a like, oh yeah, so he died. That's how it should be.
Where Clint Eastwood just retired at 96, you would have hoped that James could have had more life, but I mean, what a life, though.
What a life.
I mean, he's seen so much.
I mean, I watched, and this is not a TV recap podcast, huh? But me and my wife, because when you're married, you do watch TV shows.
Yes.
And we watched season 3 of The Comeback, which season 1 and 2 are all-time great TV show seasons. Season 3 was good.
Okay.
And James Burrows, like he did, I think, in both of the first 2 seasons, played himself.
Yeah.
In the show. And he's great in his episode. Seemed like he had a ton of life in him. Maybe it is because the form, not speculating on why, but
yeah,
that if that form still existed, the 3-4 camera, like taped in front of a studio,
he would have been more active, and it's possible.
Yeah, it is a shame.
He died of a broken heart, possibly because of the death of the sitcom.
Yeah,
as a form.
Yeah.
So I'd like to blame Mike Schur and The Office, the people who created The Office and Modern Family, Christopher Lloyd, not the good Christopher Lloyd, the bad Christopher Lloyd.
Although that Christopher Lloyd, he did also co-create Frasier. Like, he's a James Burrows guy.
Okay.
So I think let's put it all on Mike Schur and that group. Whoever did The Good Place.
Yes.
That's who gets the blame for killing the traditional, funny 30-minute taped in front of a studio audience sitcom.
Yes.
I guess we could lay the blame all the way back then to Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Even though his version of The Office was great.
It is great and only did a few episodes. I mean,
Yeah. It still led to the end of that format.
Absolutely.
Which I guess is never going to come
That was
back.
the Outbreak Monkey.
Yes.
People don't really talk about the Outbreak Monkey. We used to talk about the Outbreak Monkey a lot.
Yeah.
Where when we talked about something that went like viral, not even viral the way they say now, but something that became really annoying and where it started, we would be like, well, that was the Outbreak Monkey.
Right.
And I don't think people use that
No.
in sentences anymore, where it's like, oh, Rogan is the Outbreak Monkey of the manosphere.
Right.
I think people should use Outbreak Monkey more.
Yeah. That's a good one. Rogan is the Outbreak Monkey of the manosphere.
And just to explain, because obviously it's not used that much, is that there's a movie called Outbreak in the 90s.
Yeah, which these kids who are listening for the first time because of Toy Story 5, this is for them. They don't know and they're still listening all the way an hour and half into this episode.
Well,
they're locked in, but they're like, what do you mean when you say the Outbreak Monkey?
And the Outbreak Monkey also played the monkey Marcel on Friends. And so that was a famous thing when this monkey started an outbreak.
Yes.
And so he was iconic.
Yeah. And so James Burrows, he
worked with the Outbreak Monkey.
He directed the Outbreak Monkey because he directed many episodes of Friends, including the pilot. So that is nice to know that James Burrows and the Outbreak Monkey did get to work together. I mean, pretty extensively.
Yeah, well, it was
more famous as Marcel than he was as the Outbreak Monkey.
Well, because it's crazy because that was before it was okay for movie stars to do TV. because it
Yep.
had rarely happened where, like, Burt Reynolds ended up doing Evening Shade. He was one of the biggest movie stars ever.
But he's Evening Shade. He's
was him going down.
Well, he was on the downside. His movie career is over.
And the Outbreak Monkey saw, like, he looked at this package. He looked at James Burrow directing.
Yeah.
He looked at these young actors all together, and he thought, well, I feel like this is going to be as big as any movie I could be in.
Yeah. Well,
and
actually,
culturally, Friends was.
Now I do want to check
if it was the same monkey.
No, here's the issue with that. Outbreak came out in 1995. Friends starts in 94.
Oh, he jumped to the big screen.
To the big screen. Marcel was a TV star before he went to Outbreak.
So he was Bruce Willis.
Yeah. He did the traditional, like, you make it on a TV show and then you try and make it in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was a little bit confused.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, yeah. But we did have to set that straight for the kids who were listening for the first time because of Toy Story 5.
They needed to know that timeline.
Yeah. So all that said, R.I.P.
Rest in Pilot.
Residuals in Pilot.
Oh, Residuals in Pilot.
R.I.P. to James Burrows. Greatest who ever did the thing that he does.
Mm-hmm.
So very few people will ever exist definitively knowing that. And he was the greatest TV sitcom director of all time.
Yeah.
So that is it. So email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. We got a couple of emails. We'll go over those on the next episode, which is going to be our weekend preview for Supergirl and for Jackass Best and Last. That comes out next week. And I saw the trailer for that just last night before Obsession, my viewing of Obsession. And it looks tough.
What was the reaction from the crowd?
No
Apathy.
reaction.
Ugh.
No reaction from this crowd.
Now, this
no
is,
reaction.
I'll have to say, Jackass is my Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I'm somebody who, that is my nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my, like, peaked with the third movie. Fourth one was good.
Fourth one was really good. I mean,
fourth one was really good, but and I never saw, of course, Toy Story 4 because I'm boycotting it because it didn't open in the Father's Day corridor, but there's an equivalency there. I mean, it is not as good as the original trilogy, but it still did what it needed to do.
Oh, yeah.
But this 5 is not going to be Toy Story 5. I have a feeling.
No, we'll get into it. I've never felt this lack of buzz for a Jackass movie as we are going into next weekend.
Yeah.
So that comes out. So next episode, we'll get to some emails, but it's Supergirl and Jackass. And I think the Seth Rogen, The Invite, is coming out next weekend, but I don't know how. We'll see how wide that release is.
Yeah, it might be. It might be limited.
It might be limited next weekend. So that's going to be a huge episode. Subscribe to the Substack. We got new Substack articles. Went up last weekend. We had a huge article on Toy Story 5 and the rating system. When you hear this episode, a new Substack article will be dropping right now. We've got a special Substack article, Clayton, about looking back at Dick Tracy and Batman. And guess what? This is an article that we dug up from the B.O. Boys archives from when we were children.
Whoa.
And do you remember we used to have our newspaper, our elementary school newspaper column?
How could I forget?
How could you forget? And we found a rare old article from when we were kids that we wrote about Dick Tracy, and it's going up on the Substack. As you listen to this right now, it'll be going up. So you got to subscribe to the Substack for that.
And has it been 36 years since
years.
Dick Tracy?
Yeah. Dick Tracy came out June of 1990. So that's why I dug up this article. The 36th, very important 36th anniversary of Dick Tracy coming out in movie theaters. And so it's a re-release of our article when that opened up and we wrote about it as kids. So that's on the Substack. Subscribe there. Follow us on social media at the B.O. Boys Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are YouTubers. Hey guys. Of course, listen to our bonus podcast series. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, wait, why am I not getting these episodes on Seltzer and Friedberg? They're only on the audio feed.
Yeah.
So
They're watch-alongs.
Yeah, they're watch-along. So you got to listen to them on the podcast feed. We just did Disaster Movie from 2000 and what year did that come out? 2008?
7, 8?
I think 2008. Just did that. Just dropped. Classic episode. So you got to listen along, watch along to the Disaster Movie episode. And that is it. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That's all I got, Clayton.
Pat, it was 2008.
2008.
Pat, you've said it all.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to be said.
Nope. I can leave now.
Except for, until next time, we'll smell you at the box office. Nailed it. Hey, guys.